Patrick Mahomes, Cooper Kupp, Creed Humphrey, and Chris Jones are just a handful of active NFL stars who have already secured multiple Super Bowl rings. Any more rings they add would just be gravy.
Mayfield in trouble. Mayfield is sacked. It's Hutchinson again.
But among all active NFL stars who have yet to win a Super Bowl, which ones are in the best spot to become part of a dynasty? Well, let's dive into 10 NFL players with the best chances of winning multiple championships in their careers. Puka Nacua. Never mind Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. There's a compelling case to be made that Puka Nacua is now the best wide receiver in the NFL. The 2023 fifth-round pick out of BYU has broken numerous records, including the most receptions and receiving yards for a rookie and the fastest player to 300 receptions at just 43 games. If Nacua hadn't missed 6 games in 2024, there's no telling how many other records he would have smashed by now. But hey, 313 receptions for 4,191 yards and 19 touchdowns over 44 games to begin your career is still pretty darn good. Nacua was a driving force behind Matthew Stafford's MVP winning season in 2025, helping the Los Angeles Rams reach the NFC Championship game. We know Stafford isn't getting any younger, but Nacua had all these accomplishments bagged at the age of 24. Even when Stafford retires, Nacua still will be the catalyst of Sean McVay's offense. You just know that McVay won't have any issue finding a successor to Stafford. We're only talking about one of the greatest offensive-minded coaches ever, folks. We'd like to think that Stafford will play at least 2 more years, giving Nacua a prime opportunity to win his first Super Bowl ring sooner rather than later. And I mean, as long as he stays in LA, Nacua will be well positioned to obtain multiple Super Bowl rings in what is shaping up to be a Hall of Fame career. Micah Parsons. Once Parsons was traded by the Dallas Cowboys, he officially opened up his long-term Super Bowl championship window. We stand firm in that the Cowboys will not win a Super Bowl so long as Jerry Jones is GM. As disappointed as Parsons was about having to force his way out, it was really the only path if he wanted to contend for multiple Super Bowls. And he was fortunate to be traded to a perennial NFC heavyweight, the Green Bay Packers, who gave up 2 first-round picks and Pro Bowl defensive tackle Kenny Clark in return. 5-time Pro Bowler was having a career year for the Packers in 2025 with 12.5 sacks in 14 games before unfortunately suffering a season-ending ACL tear against the Denver Broncos. Packers were 9-3-1 with Parsons in the lineup. They never won another game in 2025 after his injury. A clear reminder of the value that he brings to this team. Oh yeah, and you saw how much the Cowboys unraveled without him, didn't you? As tough as the finish to 2025 was, Parsons and the Packers are still in a good spot to contend for years to come. Parsons, Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft, Rashawn Gary, Xavier McKinney, and Lucas Van Ness are just entering or in the early stages of their prime years. Healthy Parsons might have lifted the Packers to the Lombardi Trophy in 2025. But it still feels just like a matter of time until Matt LaFleur finally leads this team to the promised land. And perhaps multiple times with Parsons leading the way. Drake Maye. If Drake Maye could reach the Super Bowl as a sophomore when preseason expectations were, well, minimal, just imagine what he'll be able to do from here. Going into 2025, some folks thought maybe the Patriots would be a wildcard team if everything happened to break right. But instead, they won 14 games and took home the AFC Championship crown before bowing out to a superior Seattle Seahawks team in Super Bowl 60. But considering where the Pats were before Maye and Mike Vrabel joined forces, 2025 could only be deemed a success in New England. It's impressive that Maye finished second in MVP voting, considering that he had a terrible offensive line and a 32-year-old Stephon Diggs as his #1 receiver. You better believe that he's only going to get better when New England bolsters those position groups. Maye, Will Campbell, Travion Henderson, and Christian Gonzalez headline New England's ultra-promising young core. And have we mentioned how much Mike Vrabel rocks as a head coach? Yeah, Maye can totally win multiple Super Bowls in New England. Patrick Surtain II. The easiest way to build a sustainable long-term contender is to draft and develop your own QB and pair him with the right head coach. The Denver Broncos have aced that goal, quickly going from an afterthought to AFC powerhouse under Bo Nix and Sean Payton. While Nix's rise to stardom has been a pleasant story in Denver, it's really the defense that helped Denver dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs as the kings of the AFC West. And that D starts with the league's best cornerback, Patrick Surtain II. Surtain has been everything the Broncos dreamed of when they selected him 9th overall back in 2021. He's one of 3 quarterbacks to win Defensive Player of the Year honors since 1994, having won the award in 2024. As the backbone of Denver's star-studded defense, featuring a great mix of young and veteran talent, Surtain is in a prime spot to win multiple Super Bowl rings in his career. I mean, there's a good shot he'd already have one ring by now, if not for Bo Nix's season-ending ankle injury. Will Anderson Jr. If CJ Stroud maintained that MVP-like form that we saw from his 2023 season, then the Houston Texans might have won a Super Bowl by now. But alas, Stroud's shaky play in 2024 and 2025 wasted 2 years of Houston's championship window. Good news if you're Will Anderson Jr. or one of Houston's other young stars? Well, Stroud is now entering a make-or-break year. If he's not up to the task in 2026, then, well, the Texans won't hesitate to find a better quarterback. Anderson, Derek Stingley Jr., and Danielle Hunter will always give Houston a chance to win as long as they're leading that defense together. With Anderson only 3 seasons into his career, he's in a favorable position to win multiple championship rings. Now again, the Texans will not hesitate to bring in a better QB to get them to football's ultimate goal if Stroud wastes another season in 2026. Brock Purdy. Some San Francisco 49ers fans may question why we have Purdy on here over bigger stars like Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Fred Warner, and Nick Bosa. Well, we're simply factoring age and health here. Unfortunately, Run CMC and Kittle are rapidly running out of time to win rings. Warner and Bosa have battled numerous injuries and are closing in on a decade into their careers. Never mind winning 2 rings, all 4 of them already have limited opportunities to win 1 Super Bowl. But Purdy is in a good spot here as a QB who's still in his mid-20s. Kyle Shanahan runs the ultimate QB-friendly system and isn't going anywhere. GM John Lynch has built a sustainable long-term contender, and the 49ers are here to stay for a while. Considering his age and excellent situation, we like Purdy's chances of winning multiple Super Bowls as the 49ers starting quarterback. Remember, the 49ers lost in overtime of the Super Bowl in Purdy's only fully healthy season. So I mean, it still feels like we haven't even seen the peak version of 2022's Mr. Irrelevant. Kyle Hamilton. We're honestly not sure how many prime years Lamar Jackson has left. He turns 30 in 2027, and staying healthy has been, well, a bit of a problem over the last 5 years. Thus, there was no way we could put him on this list. We like Hamilton to win multiple rings because, well, he is already a 3-time Pro Bowler and 2-time first-team All-Pro with 5 interceptions, 36 pass breakups, 6 forced fumbles, and 8 sacks through his first 4 seasons. That is Hall of Fame production, folks. Hamilton should hang around long enough in Baltimore to pursue multiple Super Bowls. If not, we can see a scenario where he looks to move if the championship window quickly begins to close with Jackson, Derrick Henry, Mark Andrews, et al. All getting older. Even if Jackson's time in Baltimore is quietly coming to an end, we trust this front office to rebuild a contender around its next QB. I mean, few teams draft as well as the Ravens after all. With the bulk of his prime years still ahead, he could very well join Ray Lewis in the club of Ravens legends to win not 1, but 2 Super Bowls. Or, like we said, maybe Hamilton will win his rings elsewhere. Aidan Hutchinson. If you're a believer in this Detroit Lions core, then you can use plenty of different guys in this space, like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell, Jared Goff, and Jahmyr Gibbs. But Goff is now in his 30s, and running backs like Gibbs don't have the shelf life that elite edge rushers have. So don't mind us using Hutchinson as the Lions' entry here. It's not a stretch to argue that Hutchinson is the MVP of the Lions. We all saw how much their defense crumbled after his gruesome season-ending leg injury in 2024, and it's no coincidence that they've registered 4 straight winning seasons since drafting him 2nd overall in 2022. Detroit is in the midst of a lengthy Super Bowl window, expertly put together by GM Brad Holmes and head coach Dan Campbell. We'll see how long Goff sticks around, but no Lions star is better suited to win multiple championships than Hutchinson. He could easily have another decade's worth of all-pro level play ahead of him. Caleb Williams. Williams had a dazzling rookie season despite taking a league-high 68 sacks in 2024, and despite being stuck with Matt Eberflus as his head coach until his firing after Thanksgiving. So, what did Williams do in his first season behind a competent offensive line with a whiz of a head coach and Ben Johnson? Oh, you know, just led the Bears to their first division crown in 7 years, their first playoff win in 15 years, and got them within a play of reaching the NFC Championship game. Johnson immediately unlocked Williams' potential, potential, and it already looks like the Bears have solved their decades-long search for a franchise QB. And like we said, the proper QB head coaching tandem is all you need to have a long-term competitive window. Williams and Johnson are the perfect match. Look at all they accomplished in their first season together. The Bears are for real, and we'd argue it's more likely that they win multiple Super Bowls with Caleb Williams than 0 rings altogether. Enjoy it, Bears fans. You have waited a long, long time for your team to return to relevance. Joe Burrow. If Burrow had just signed a 10-year deal with the Cincinnati Bengals, he wouldn't be on this list. Fortunately, there is nothing that can force Joe Burrow to finish his career with the Bengals. Burrow indicated numerous times during the 2025 season that he was growing frustrated with all the losing in Cincinnati. He also wouldn't fully commit to the Bengals when a reporter asked if he'd potentially play elsewhere. So basically, there are two options here. Either the Bengals get their act together and properly rebuild a contender around Burrow ASAP, or they keep wasting Burrow's prime and force him to request a trade. He just needs to look at Matthew Stafford and Sam Darnold as inspiration when you land with a team that'll actually build around you. Burrow makes this list because he's proven that he has the clutch gene with a 5-2 playoff record and a Super Bowl appearance. The same cannot be said about other QBs in his age group like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Whether it's Cincinnati or elsewhere, we still love Burrow's chances of winning multiple rings before he calls it quits. He just has to stay healthy and get a half-decent offensive line and defense. If the Bengals won't give him that, then, well, another team will. So fear not, Burrow fans. One way or another, he is still going to find himself competing for championships for many years. But hey, which active NFL player do you think will retire with the most Super Bowl rings? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.